Right, I'm just heading over to Rob and Susie's. Rob from over the road, that's him. They've hired a cherry picker for the day, but they only need it for 2 or 3 hours. So he said, when I've finished, we'll bring it over to your place. So I'm just going in there, Château. And Rob and Susie have got 1 or 2 maintenance jobs to do up high, and one of them, you probably can't see it, right up there is a nest, and they're processionary caterpillars. They normally reside on pine trees, but they're very, very dangerous to animals, and Rob and Susie have got 6 cats, so it's got to come down. And this is what all the fuss is about. In there are probably lots of caterpillars. They may have gone, don't know, but they're very toxic to animals and young children, so not good to have around.
I think I'm just gonna put some on this, just on the nests.
Yeah.
Because then they'll burn quickly. I'm not too worried about the leaves. And then Susie's got another pile, and we're going to bring that over and make a bonfire. So see you in a minute.
Whee.
The wind's going my way.
Don't do this at home, children.
Yeah, don't do this at home.
I needed a haircut anyway.
Yes, kids, don't do this at home. Let Rob burn himself instead. And just above the door there, you'll see 2 letters. You can see clearly the letter R, and through it there's a T. Now the T is for Château Thibault, which is the name of this place. And the R is for Roy. Now the name Roy appears in our documents quite a lot. Now we're not quite sure what the connection was, but we know this place was built in 1914 and it was a wedding present. And we believe there was a wedding and that somehow connected to our place. So more history to research, and I know Rob and Susie have got many documents and old photos, etc. So between us we're trying to piece together the connection between our 2 places. And that is the best way to get rid of processionary caterpillars. So I'm inside my workshop, and clearly you can see some daylight coming through up in that ridge there. So I want to try and sort that out today. I've no way of getting up there other than climbing across the roof, and these tiles are quite fragile, so I'm not going to walk on them. So the cherry picker is ideal, so I want to investigate that, and then I'll just show you the second area we're going to look at today, which is very similar. And the second area is under our covered area that links the front and back of the properties, and again you can see daylight up there right in the corner. Now this is quite interesting because a few weeks ago there wasn't any daylight there, and now that gap just seems to have got that little bit bigger, so some tiles have slipped. But of course the question mark is why. All the wood here looks sound. There's no evidence of any damp there. In fact, you can see some evidence there of some new boarding, so you know somebody's been up here in the past and maintained it. So the clue as to what's going on may be outside. So if I just pan along our ridge, and just in the centre there, you can see it starts to dip if I carry on. And we think that roof is moving. Now this isn't our roof. Our roof ends just where that downpipe is that should be in but isn't. Roughly there. So what we think is happening is this roof, our neighbour's roof, is starting to dip. And just there in the centre, it's starting to raise that corner a little bit, and that's why we think our tiles have slipped. And if I get a bit closer, I don't know whether you see it on camera, but just right in that ridge right at the top, I can see daylight through it. So we're going to at least try and get those tiles back, but it's a conversation I'm going to have with my neighbour, because if his roof is starting to dip, he needs to sort it out. So one of the gaps we can see, you can see these tiles here, they've tipped, so you can see a gap underneath. So I'll just need to tip those back, and that's closed that gap. There's Rob, the fat controller.
What did you call me? Say that again?
Oops. I forgot he's in control. Getting to see a few views I don't normally get. Well, Rob's gone now. He's taken the cherry picker back, and that's going back in about an hour, so we had to stop. We didn't get quite as much done as we wanted, but I got up onto that big roof, and there was a few moved tiles, slip tiles, a bit of moss, but it's generally in good condition. Just need to get up there for 2 or 3 days, so we'll probably have to hire a cherry picker at some point and have a good go at that roof, just to make sure there's no gaps. And here's just some of the moss that I've taken out of this section, and that's just one small section. There wasn't a lot up there, but just I noticed a few sections had moss, so I really need to get up there and spray the whole roof, but it's just accessibility. So I think we need a slightly bigger cherry picker, and I need it for a few days. Then I can get up there and really have a go and make sure every little gap is closed.